Hey, good morning, good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to. I didn't even turn on my light. Let me get this light on. There we go. No, it's not even the right color. There we go. That's that. That's that. All right. Now I'm back. Even though my sunshine is a little brighter than normal, but we'll navigate around that. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, trading floor edition. We are late a little bit, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right to the chart. So let's get started. So the first thing you already know, I am an NQ chart trader, so I love going over an NQ first. So the first thing I want to kind of recap is we are above this order block and we are struggling to really break out of here. So this is going to be very fun. But if we look at the 15-minute opening range yesterday, you should have taken this advantage right here. So here was our area, that was our test, retest, and it broke all the way down. That right there was a very solid trade. Some of the people in the community took it as well. Let me go ahead and give you what that measurement was. So from here to here, there was about 500 ticks available. So even if you got 100 from that, that should have been a really, really good trade. Unfortunately, it happened after we closed off. So we closed off at 10:15. I considered it possibly bullish, and I thought we was going to break out of this range, and then it rejected very hard. And then now we're at that same area, so this is going to be very fun. Let's go ahead and get into oil. Oil, it rejected the order block. This is a very, very difficult order block, and that's what I kind of warned y'all about. This one is gold. Gold is not looking too shiny right now. It came to this area, it kind of got to our block. But you can kind of see this is the area that I want to see it bounce. If it can hold this trend, we should be good to go. But right now, it's showing some pressure. It needs to break above 26,337 to really take off. All right, let's go with silver. Same thing. Kind of look like a morning star is trying to make it out of here. It's probably going to go ahead and drag gold up with it. Now, I'm just saying, just be a little conscious about the trade when you're playing it, because again, silver is a good way to kind of gauge what's going on with gold. And if this holds for gold and this turns into a morning star for silver, I can see this really taking off. But until this curls up, we may be coming down some more. So just be very, very cognizant about the stochastic MACDs and all oscillators where they are. And this looks like it's still at the bottom. British pound. Here's the British pound. That head and shoulders looks a little wanky, right? Let's adjust this. This is our downward trend line. So the U.S. markets are not dropping with it, so I think there's going to be a little bit of a bounce here. Maybe that's what's going to drive us up as the British pound starts to recover a little bit, and that should put pressure on the dollar. Here is ES. ES, again, they're consolidating, keeping that position, holding that top area, so we could see this kind of continue to hold until it starts to break down, just like in Q over here, that's doing almost the same thing right here. All right, so that's that. We got Russell. Russell really took off, so I do think there is some rotation happening. I think people are getting into smaller caps. Go ahead and take a nice little peek at small caps and make sure that you actually get that done, because I think if you can get into the small caps, it probably is going to be the more safer trade, since a lot of the majors are so overheated. But this is a nice little bounce. So as long as it doesn't break back into this lower area, I think this can continue. Just wait for a pullback, because it did run really, really, really well. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to the infamous, none other, the dollar, right? So I want to see if we're going to close above this level. Remember, this is an angle off a couple of points, touchers right here. And we got to this level, and I was looking for a strong rejection so that way the market could kind of rally a little stronger. The market's not really rallying, or at least NQ and ES. Russell actually kind of plays with the dollar a little bit, because the strength of the dollar means stronger in domestic products versus international. That's why a lot of the majors are the ones that gets affected by that. But yeah, I do think whatever is happening today is going to dictate how we're going to finish out the week. So we're going to be really, really keying off on how this finishes around 10:15. All right, so the market is open. Let's go ahead and grab our sales. this 15-minute chart. If you haven't been on my floor before, by all means, it's okay. How it works out, we are playing the 15-minute order breakout in the beginning of a trade. So the market just opened, we're looking at the first 15 minutes, we establish our highs and lows, and then we play on the respective direction what we break out of. So in this case, assuming that this is the completed 15-minute, we'll be looking for our high here, we'll be bullish above there, and right here we would be bearish if it came down to it. Let me go ahead and adjust my, where did I do it? I think I did it in this chart. Hold on, bear with me. Let me grab this real quick. That is, go to chart, where did I do my 618 and 50%? No, it wouldn't be here. Did I do it here? Yep, that's where I did it. All right, so I am looking for the area. 50% is 21,153.25, and I am looking for 618 at 21,176.50. So these are the areas that we're probably going to be playing around with. So just keep those on your chart. See how that works out for you. But that is what it looks like for our levels today. So let's go ahead and get deeper into this chart. So the 45-minute did this, and this one kind of took me, I meant to zoom this out a little bit. It took me aback a little bit because this 45-minute kind of tripped me up too, right? Had a nice massive candle. I thought there would be some retracement, whatever, but it did not hold, and this was a very long wick. This was a 270 tick wick. So we just had some news that came in, and it did almost similar to this side, 284. So I found that very interesting because I feel like now we're kind of doing something like this ish as far as an upward channel. So I'm very curious on how the market reacts to that. That said, I did say there was some news, so let's go ahead and grab news real quick. My FX book is one of my favorites, and it looks like we had our CPI core inflation data, and it was a mixed bag. October SA is bearish for the dollar, and then we got regular CPI being bullish for the dollar. So I don't know, I guess status quo for the most part, because when it came down to core, hey, what's going on, Neo? When it came down to core inflation rate, it's 0.03, met expectation. Core inflation rate year over year, month over month, met expectation, and our inflation rate is at 2.6. So previous month was 2.4, so it's slightly up, but they anticipated that it was going to go up because you got inflation data and consensus saying 2.6. So everything is meeting expectation at this point. So just be aware of that. Let's go back over to this 15 minutes. Let's readjust our lines because it looks like the market is moving a little bit. All right, our low is still there, so our high is over here. So we'll see what happens there. We're kind of fighting back and forth from the previous day, 618 and 50%. So that's going to be very interesting if we ever break out of that. While we wait, let's go ahead and check out my red list. Let's start with red. Let's see who's terrible right now. Costco is getting beat up a little bit more. So they are really trying to get to that 1,000 level. They are. I thought we was going to get a little bit of a bounce, but like they grabbed some buy-side liquidity along the way here. So Costco kind of gapped down. So I would love to see what they're going to do with this gap that's in between here and here. I do believe this was a little bit of a dividend rejection. Let me get this back to general and general. So after dividends was paid out, there was an influx of maybe shorts covering or whatever the case may be, but we had a nice little pop up here. So I think this is probably going to be just a simple pullback, and then we could go ahead and reattack the 1000 level. So just keep that in mind. If this thing ever pivots, the first thing I want to see is it capture 930 and 932. What else we got? Let's go with somebody that's green. Upstart, the company that does the buy now, pay later. I know Neo probably would say something a little different on that one, but it is right now trying to make a nice little move today. It did get up to $82. Let's see how this weekly looks. They're trying to build a weekly fair value gap, and it finally got its weekly 200 EMA. Oh, it's such a baby. All right, so now let's see what it does here. We got ourselves below the 50 EMA, above the 50 EMA. Now they're fighting to stay above the 200 weekly. Gonna be very interesting. Kind of looks like a W pattern here. All right, let's assume this is a W. And if it looks like a W, it smells like a W, we'll play it as a W. Let's take the shorter side to the neckline or the pivot. That'll be here. And everybody that's always on my channel, you already know we don't take the full move. Take 50%. Boom. I can see it. $100 upstart. It just got to make sure it catches its trend and hold. 98.12. 98.12. I think if it holds this trend line right here, that 98.12 is very attainable. So I'm probably going to need a pullback. Had solid earnings, I'm assuming. Yep. So they're losing less money. They're adding to their revenue, which is good. So let's see if they can turn this to positive by the time this earnings comes out in February. I thought I put you on silent. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get back over to NQ. Let's see how the party's going over there. Readjust our 15-minute if we need to. Yep, we do. And it looks like we are going to be about right here. See how that goes. All right, let's go ahead and check out volume. How y'all doing? Good morning. Welcome to the party. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button down below. And Elite is still giving discounts. Go ahead and get yourself an account. My seasoned traders, folks. All right, listen. If you are still kind of struggling with your paper trade and you're kind of battling back and forth and you're not consistent, do not get yourself a funded account. I know it's cheap. Get it, whatever. But honestly, if you need help, hit me up on the DM. I'll help you out. But the goal is you want to at least be a little consistent on your paper, and you go over to that funded account. So don't worry, they're always giving deals. You don't have to get it today. But down below, they're giving as much as 90% off of Elite, which is very, very competitor driven. But yeah, you can get yourself a different account. All right, so let's go ahead and look at volume now. So I got a couple things that I look at for volume. And right now, Microsoft is still pumping the volume. Really? It is already at 1 million shares right now. Let's go ahead and check out Microsoft. Yeah, they are still pushing this thing. I think what it is, they're trying to get out of this wedge. Actually, let's start over. Let's just get rid of all the lines. Let's just look at this and be as objective as possible. I think what's happening here is that we had this downtrend that was created. Remember, you need 2 points to make a trend, right? You need a third one to be your friend. All right, let's see. We're going to use my ray line. We got 1 touch here and then 2 touches here. So we have a nice little angle here that created this whole entire downtrend, and they're fighting to get past it here. And earnings did give them a drop. People try to buy up the dip. Whatever they said, it was kind of negative, and people just started cashing out. But this is a good company. They are 6%. They're giving $3 per share. Like, this is not your fly-by company. So I think what they're trying to do is consolidate this whole entire area into this wedge. And now that they feel like they broke through the wedge, if this thing can hold this trend right here, it'll put some pressure here. Now, if we break this pivot here, right here at 385, that means our true pivot, our lower high, is this angle here, and it would have to almost, let me do it with a ghost bar. All right, let's do it that. It would have to literally kind of like go down to here and do something like that, and then maybe drop down to this level. Like that would have to kind of like happen. Then you kind of have that H pattern, and then you're down. If it doesn't do anything like that, I think they're going to put some pressure on everybody that's sold, and this is probably the point that they're looking for to liquidate, including here. So I'm going to put a nice little box. That's how sometimes I put my order blocks. Let me change this to order block. And this is probably the area that they're looking for. So I would say maybe 450 is what they're looking for Microsoft. If it can follow this trend, if it follows the wedge trend, we probably come back, maybe bump and runish, and then finally consolidate into this area. We probably get ourselves a nice little bounce and continue that upside. So look for Microsoft a possible 450 and get the rest of this gap that they created. All right, let's go back over to NQ because it's almost that time for us to establish that 15-minute. Let's see how it looks. Still staying right there in the middle. We got a couple of Feds talking. We got Fed Logan, Fed Musaleum. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Fred Smith. We got, so that's 3 of them that's talking, and it look like they'll be done talking after 1, right before the monthly budget statement that they're having. That is around 2 o'clock. I think we probably settle down around 2 o'clock. So keep that as an area of time frame. All right, what we got? We got 3 seconds. All right, so we established that area. So what I am looking for, to kind of put it in perspective for those that are new here, I am looking for a break and close above this level, kind of like that, for me to take a bullish position, right? If I don't get something like that, then I am looking for it to recover to the downside, and I'm looking for a break and close below this area, and that will make me render this market kind of bearish, and I'll play it to the downside. Maybe a break of this trend will give me more confidence because we've been on this like kind of trend right here. But other than that, that is my opening range breakout play. Very simple. A lot of people do it. It's nothing too complicated. So if it doesn't make any sense, by all means, just go ahead and chime on in, and I'll help you along the way. Let's go ahead and get back to this chart a little bit more. I got a couple more things in the volume side. Let's go ahead and grab some more on my screener. Let's see. We have, who is in the 1 million so far? Oh, looks like it's just Microsoft. Really? All right. So a lot of the dancing is at Microsoft. I wonder, they're probably just going to hold this position as we consolidate. Let me see who's a little bit more. Let's go with 750K. That's Exxon. Anyone else? No. It's very light in the market this open. Low. Be careful. It could probably get a little choppy on you. Oh, actually, AGNC. That REIT that I told you about, that's a, ooh, wait a minute. How come you didn't come in here? Mara, 17 million. What is going on over at Mara? All right, let's come up to the day. This is another one that kind of falls into that Bitcoin space. So if you like Coinbase and all the other ones, this is a really, really good one to kind of simulate Bitcoin. Let's do a little quick compare. Oh, where did it go? Oh, there it is, right? So you can kind of see the chart had a nice little dip here, rise here, dip there, rise there, and then took off. So this is Bitcoin USD. So as it's taking off, I think the reason why it's not as high as here is because people will probably starting to take profit because they see the EPS. But again, this is another one that kind of follows because they have some assets in Bitcoin. So if you want to play the Bitcoin space without spending too much money, this is another one that can be really, really, really cool for you. Just make sure you watch the chart. All right, that one looks good. I don't want to do AGNC anymore. Actually, I might go deeper in tomorrow because there's not a lot of tickers in the 1 million space. Yeah, I think let's go deeper into Mara. So where Mara can go from here, all right? And we're gonna get our first 5 minute close, and we'll get back to NQ. Mara in this position, maybe retracement into the gap. That's a possibility, but that weekly looked like party just started. So a retracement into the gap, but not fill the gap, would be a real good entry because they are coming to a level of resistance that's being tested for the first time since July of 2024. So maybe get up into this area, treat this area kind of like an order block. Let me go ahead and box this out somewhere around here. And the moment that we kind of get ourselves a little bit of a pullback, it just kind of recaptures itself. But again, this is on a weekly, so we're talking about this week probably finish inside of the block, get a little pullback, maybe even a 50% retracement. Let's do that as a spitball of where price can be. Let's call it, maybe come back to $24. If it holds that $24, get ourselves a little springboard. But again, it's still in the bearish state of the MACD on the weekly, so this can really fall right back down. So just be conscious of your levels and make sure your oscillators are in sync. All right, let's go back over to NQ. We got ourselves 10 minutes into the next hour candle, but we want to see the 5 minute candle close, and it looks like it's closing below. I'm not going to do an option play, but if I was going to do an option, I would say try to stay no more than 3 deviations out of it, out of the money. If you're going to try to get something cost effective, I would rather you just grab a one that's at the money. Oh, look at that. Nice little liquidation there. Let me just grab my chart real quick and see what's cracking over there. Maybe part of the short in a little bit. I want to kind of make sure what I'm seeing is going to stick. Yeah, it's kind of overheated a little bit. I want to see what we do between price of 21.34, 21.134 and 21.123. It looked like we're breaking above the 21.134, and it's going to retrace right back into here. So that's why I was saying be careful because the volume is so low, so they may just be grabbing sell side liquidity. Let me see. Microsoft is starting to pick up some more. They're at 1.4. Earlier they were at 1 million shares traded. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons. Now we've had this conversation before. I would love to just jump into the momentum of the trade, right? We got a nice little deep red candle, and it pushed really hard, but it's just so tough to be able to do that, because this thing can go ahead and kind of like U-turn on you. Yeah, look at that, 134. That's about 20 points to the upside, just off of that repivot off of this trend line that I drew from earlier this morning. And it's nothing spectacular. It's just we made a low, higher high, higher low, higher, not higher high, higher low, news made higher high, and then if we just accept that angle for this one here, which is this point that created that higher high, again, second touch is your friend, second touch is a trend, and then third touch is your friend, right? So now this third touch is that bounce, so that way you can kind of catch that level. Thought about getting into it, but I wanted to see it close above that 134, and I did not switch time frames fast enough. I would have got in somewhere that 135 level and probably took it to that upside. But you win some, you lose some. All right, then probably gonna go ahead and just wait to see if it's gonna break back below our low here, which is 21.139, and does it really keep this turning bearish, or do they grab more sell side liquidity? But we'll see. We will see. Let me see if Microsoft volume is kicking up. Yeah, it's getting healthier. Exxon is still pushing up. We're back to the 134, and the 5 minute has a minute and 49 seconds until it closes out. Actually, you know what? I just remembered I was swinging something on my Thinkorswim, and it does not look like it's going my way too well. So let me go ahead and check on it. I think this thing erased my ID. I usually do remember and face recognition, but this thing is making it. They must have updated something. Ah, there you go. The button says enable face. Alright, boom. Trusted device. I didn't even hit that one either. Alright. Microsoft. Boom, boom. Another one that is like irking my nerves, and I feel like jabbing them a little bit, is AMAT. AMAT, as we wait for this to break out again, AMAT has not held its levels. This thing looks like it's about to go ahead and break down, and I was wondering if is this the new trend? Is this going to hold? But yeah, AMAT looks like it's starting to give it up before they get into earnings. I think I am going to swing this to earnings only because I did do it from a vertical standpoint. What's its value now? And yeah, it's a small amount, $29. So I'm gonna see what it does, and then I'm gonna hold on to that one and see how it goes. All right, let's go back over to NQ. I just noticed something that's very interesting. Looking at this 15-minute, see how we kind of established? Now the 15-minute looks like it's not going to turn into that bearish candle if this thing has a bottom wick here. So going to be very interested in the next 5 minutes or so if they can actually really make a nice little push. But I'm still looking forward to be bullish above 134. And looks like it's still holding that thesis. Alright, if it's going to fall, it's probably going to fall here. But let's see if they buy up the dip. Let's see. We got some time here. So, who else is moving? DraftKings. DraftKings just crossed over 1 million shares traded. Let's go check that one out. DKNG. Yeah, so this one looks like they're trying their best to consolidate here. Weekly's finishing in a doji. We get a nice little open mouth on the MACD going through the zero line. Yeah, DraftKings $50. Still looks good to me. Still looks good. Alright. Kind of in this holding pattern on NQ. Right about that 134. If the sell side liquidity gives up, this thing is going to rocket right back above our 139 level. Still kind of bearish along the way. Especially that 5 minute. Here's what the 5 minute looks like. Kind of put in perspective for y'all. That MACD look like it's about to open up and just go straight down. Patience, patience, patience. Yep, that's them saying we're not going to let it get below at 135, 134, I should say. Just gonna wait for one more signal that tells me that this is gonna try to stay bullish. I may try to play, even though this is going to be in the range. So if you don't know how to play inside of the range, by all means do not do it. Me, I'm doing super light leverage just to be able to do that. In the event that I am wrong, I'm more of a breakout trader. I think we got ourselves a nice little opportunity here. Let me give it a few more. Yeah, we're almost to the new hour candle, so I'm gonna sit back. I thought about it. We're gonna wait for the party to come to us. Patience, folks, patience. All right, that 5-minute close below it again. So that means I am going to close out my position on my swing. And we're starting to break down. I was trying to close off a position. I shouldn't got into my position as I was closing off the position. This thing is going to drop. They were breaking through the trend line. Yeah. Where is it? So that was roughly right there. Nice little pullback into that area. And we're still in that bearish momentum. Yeah, that was the entry would have been, if you didn't take that short, entry would have been somewhere around 125. They're trying to buy the dip now. It was a small position. This, I think this is our retracement. We got a nice little area of interest. I want to see this kind of come down to 21.15. There we go. And then get ourselves a little bit more of a dump cycle here. Oh, they bought up the dip, taking out a lot of the new sell side liquidity. Does it hold? Or is it a bear trap? Sorry, a bull trap. So I'm looking at a position, I'm taking this and I'm holding this until, I still think it's a little bearish, especially the way the 5 minutes crossing the zero line here. It's going to get a little choppy because the 5 minutes already at its base down here. Not risking much. I'm risking about $300 on this play. Anticipating I'm going to make like somewhere around 600. Probably going to get a little reset. Pull back in here. All right, they're back into that box. Close outside the box. That could have been an entry there at that 125 again, as they're struggling to hold above the 125. On the 1 minute, kind of looks like it's putting a bear flag. Kind of like that. We'll see. All right, 5 minute. You got a minute and 15 seconds to see if it can close it below this trend line, which I'm thinking they will. All right, here goes the buyers to try to step in here, try to spring the bear trap here. All right, they're struggling with that. All right, let's see if we can get some targets. We're almost close to this target, so let's look at the target down below. Fair value gap, I'm thinking we'll probably come down to this level. 083 is what they're probably looking for. If this thing closed bearish in this area, which I think it is. Got 23 seconds. I think we're going to take out the 100 level. It's going to just blast right through it. I think we got too much momentum. Ooh, well, they could use it as a buy area. All right. May get a retracement into this area to see how much of the sellers are going to stay here. They recapture the buy side liquidity. They would have to break under that 102, our low we just created. And there we go. And that's that 83 level that I was just saying. I did go light leverage because I was late to the party. 5 minutes still looks strong to the downside, but I think they're probably going to go ahead and buy this up instead of letting it get all the way down to 83. Basically screaming out that 103 and 100 level is a tough area for y'all. So got up to like 470. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out if it gets under 200. Only have one contract on this, so we're gonna make it do what it do. They're trying to buy the dip again. I don't think they have the muscle for it. As we go into the fair value gap, let's get into the fair value gap. Let's get into 83. There we go. Got 500, got 650, and it was almost to that 83. Gonna go ahead and get my stop loss, put it tighter into profit. Buy stop, boom. And we're gonna put that, we're gonna put that right at that level. Let's get it there. They're gonna have to really come get me now. 700. 650, 700. It keeps touring back and forth. Let's see if we can get one more extension down. How can I get this to show y'all? Don't tell me to change my P&L screen. It did. There goes my P&L screen. There we go. So that's that. There we go. Right there. I got $1,000 on this drop, which it probably would have gave me a whole lot more. Probably going to keep on printing down to the downside. And they're coming for that low that pivoted. Could this be the one that dumps this all the way to the dirt? I got 955. I would tighten up the stop, but I think I have a really, really good one. I might manually stop it under 800. Come on, baby. I ain't scared of no bulls. They tried to buy the dip did not hold. Oh, come on, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. 966, 970. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to manually stop it under 800. I think they're gonna try to. Yep, 745. I'll take that. Good trade. Good trade, y'all. Open the range breakout. We did. What it do, Rodney? What go? No. Nice little breakdown. Very, very simple setup. We didn't do anything real spectacular. We did wait a little bit. It did make us wait. We marked off our levels. We got where we needed. Broke right back down into this area, and we took a nice little momentum off of here. So yeah, I was a little late to the party. Probably could have got some more ticks, but generally speaking, this 5 minute is oversold. So this can turn back up and really grab some liquidity. Be careful. All right, be careful. Make sure you're marking off your levels and you're following your thesis, especially if you're following your plan. Don't trade your money, trade your plan. If you do not have an elite account, links down below. Don't forget. All right. But yeah, we made money today. Right now, I am sitting on 1,800 on my eval. You already know what happened yesterday. That was chaos. Freaking jerks. The market ain't friendly sometimes. It is not friendly. Let me go ahead and pull this up. 1851. We'll see how it goes. Keep that party going. By all means, if you want to, you can go ahead and hit me up on the DM JD_the great on Instagram. You just got out of the meeting? Oh, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna come holler at y'all in a little bit. I'm gonna see if I find something for y'all. But by all means, hit me up on my DM. Let me know if y'all want to add something to the content and everything else. By all means, I am a very open book to constructive criticism. By all means, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and everybody. Y'all make this so much more fun to do. And we got like 5 minutes. I think I'm going to go through my volume list, right? Kind of like go through what's really moving the market. I will not be surprised it's Microsoft again. So let me go ahead and grab this volume list again. Yeah, Microsoft is at 2.4 million. We could do a quick refresh at 2.4 million. Johnson & Johnson is catching up with almost 1 million. Qualcomm. Comcast, I don't trade Comcast. Bristol Myers Squibb. Oh, this is one company that made me mad when I first started learning how to trade. This one had a forever cup and handle. That's the best way I could call it. A forever cup and handle. We got this nice little dip here, up in here, and we had this angle of a cup and handle. So usually it's a bull flag attached to it, but the option contract spread was so terrible. But you can kind of see it came back to that backside of that trend line, which is this trend line, and they're using that support to try to kick back up. But yeah, I would say Bristol Myers, stay away from it. But on the share side, this might be the bottom to continue to the upside. They are in the medical space. They call them pharmaceutical major. I did not know that. All right, cool. And I think they make some of your favorite things. Where are you? I forgot which one they make, but I think they also do like aspirin and other things. I gotta go do some digging. But I haven't looked at this like forever. But they also have biological stuff that they're working on, especially after the whole pandemic and everybody was trying to get into the COVID vaccine. So there's another one right here, BMY for shares. I would not trade this thing at all, but the share side, I think they're a real solid company. All right, let's go ahead and keep on going through this list. We got like 3 minutes. Got that. DraftKings already went over. This one's at 800. Amdocs. I don't know Amdocs, but I feel like I heard of them before. I think they're an international company, if it's who I think they are. No, it's not them. Amdocs, a holding company which is engaged in provision of software, service, communication, entertainment, media. Actually, yeah, but I thought it was an international company. Might be the right one. But anyways, Amdocs is on my screener, and it is because they dropped about 4%. and their volume is kicking up. It's over 800,000. Let's see what we got here. Look like they bought the dip here, trying to push this bad boy back up. Got a nice little trend here. This is a weekly. This is what they were on until they just went ahead and liquidated those folks. Let me see something. Yeah. So from here to here. And then our deviation was from here on. Like that. So they struggled, and then of course when we started making this higher high, that's our pivot. So they liquidated everybody at this level, and then some down to this wick, and it bounced off our 200 on the weekly. It's only $88. All right, I'm gonna put this in my green list. I'm curious on that, but this might be a share play because I've never heard this company before. Well, I have an idea of this company. I want to do some digging on this. I'm curious about that one. All right, how much time we have left? Let's do one more. Got some time. Like it when we make money early, we can go ahead and relax. Lyft. The ride-hailing company. It was late to the party. This is Uber, right? Uber kind of rallied real strong, especially coming from October 23rd. Unlike Lyft, it kind of stayed in that area. If we did a nice little comparisons, Uber, put a Uber line here, they basically diverged away from themselves and separated from the competition basically. Come on, Uber. There we go. So here's our October buildup, and there was that buildup, that first instance, but Uber continued with a nice little support roughly around that January 2024 level, but Lyft went back to the November 2023, and it could be because their earnings wasn't as spectacular as Uber, right? But they do turn a positive EPS. So I think what they're aiming for, if this fair value gap can hold, look for $20 Lyft. $20 Lyft, and maybe they'll be so late to the party that they get back up into their $31. That would be a very interesting ticker in itself. Draw your trend lines. As long as it respects this trend, should be good to go. All right. That said, I want to say thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. By all means, I will see y'all again tomorrow. It looks like my reservation was canceled for Thursday. So we will be doing our thing. Same trading time, same trading place, 9:15. And thank you again. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Later, y'all.